Hi, my name is Luis. I'm head of product design here at YLD. YLD is a design, product, and engineering consultancy based in London, Porto, and Lisbon. And I'm here today with our senior UX designer, João. I'm excited to be talking a little bit about how we do design, product, UX here at YLD. I'm going to jump straight into it. So, as we working as consultants, and I mean, I say often, but maybe it's often. I'm sure you've been in this situation. Yeah. We get brought into something, the vision is unclear, and they might not be 100% sure on what it is that they want us to do. Like, how do you help create structure and direction where maybe the goals are still in flux, so they're not kind of set properly? How can we support the team or the client to get that more clarity?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's like, to be honest, it depends a lot the type of client that we have, because some clients, of course, they come with more information. Some of them don't have so many like background or expertise in tech. It depends a lot from each type of clients that we have. But like, I would say that the part and then the thing that we need to do is basically to understand like constraints that we have there. So we know exactly, for example, like what's the time, the budget, like the business pressure that they are having, so we can really understand, for example, also with all of that information, the goals that they want to achieve. Okay, this is something that we need to explore with them. Sometimes they have a specific idea, but sometimes the real problem is not that. So we need really also to show them like, look, you guys are focusing on this, but in the reality, what's happening behind is there's a bigger problem here, and this is what you guys need to solve. So we are also there to support them in that direction, not just like, as I said in the beginning, oh, we do the wireframes, visual designs. That's why we say this is so important to do, okay? But basically with this situation that we have here, it's important to map, for example, what we really know about all of these situations, like the goals, the questions they have, the problems, and also the things that we don't know so much, okay? So then you know on the research what we need to focus on the most, okay? And also another thing that is important that we have here is sometimes in some specific projects, sometimes they are more complex, we can even consider specific questions to understand even more details.
Yeah.
For example, one thing that we use sometimes is like asking, okay, what does success look like in 6 months for this product? Okay. Yeah. And sometimes we can figure out other things that then on a meeting with clients or with stakeholders, we can show to them. And this is something very important. So they are also aware of how this is going to look like in that time frame. So basically the idea is we can also start small. We don't need to do something massive. We need to test, do iterations, and continue that process until we get there. But that's basically like the best process we could have.
Okay, great. Okay. So something which is a little bit related to that. So the vision might be clear and they might have a clear understanding of what the problem they want to solve. But it can actually sometimes transpire that the problem that they come to us with, they already kind of have a solution for it, and actually it turns out that that solution doesn't necessarily match the problem.
Yep.
And then we're kind of in the middle of going, I understand what you wanted to create, but that is not responding to this. How do we then guide someone away from kind of getting us to help them with the right problem to solve? Yep. Because that can be quite sensitive sometimes when they sort of come already preloaded and going like, we just need you to implement this.
It's true.
And then we discover this.
Yeah, so that's also something that sometimes happens, which is clients come to us and say, hey, look, we know all of this about our clients or users, so please just do it. To be honest, it's interesting because, of course, we need to like understand what they want, in this case, the client, so everything is very solid, and then we understand what are their requirements, everything like that. But here is like where the user research makes all the difference, okay? Because we really need to go there, conduct that research, understand the users. At the end, what we want is basically to have like a massive information from our clients, and also at the end, massive information regarding our users. And this is so important because at the end, we mix together and then we make like the client also understand, look, we have this information from your side, we have all this information from also from your users, and this is our conclusions. And when the client sees this, they usually become very happy because they say, okay, this really makes total difference regarding this, which is really good. And also something very important is that this will allow us to not work only on assumptions, okay? An assumption is something that we should definitely avoid because it's just an idea that we got. And of course, client can try to help us on this, but the user feedback, the user information makes total difference on this. Okay. And another thing that is very important to do, that we do that also a lot here at YLD, are the workshops. The workshop is something that will definitely help. We can do this, of course, with everyone, like the users, the clients. Like with clients specifically, is much more important because we can get much more information. And this is really interesting because all the workshops that we have done so far, we always understand that the clients have so many information, but sometimes when they stop and start understanding the things on their team, at the end they feel like, oh my god, I didn't realize this, or I didn't realize that. And this is so important because even they learn about it with this, and this is so nice and a really good tool. So workshops is something really positive that we can do to help on this situation.